Now, while both countries offer a lot of opportunities, a lot of ways to make money in real estate, I believe investing in the US greatly outweighs the benefits of investing in Canada. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't invest in Canada. Canada's a great place. I made a ton of money, all my wealth from Canada, multi-millionaire from investing in Canadian real estate. But knowing what I know now about how to scale, how to grow a business, dude, I can't consciously tell you to continue investing in Canada. So in this video, I'm gonna share with you the reasons why I am no longer investing in Canada. Even being a multi-millionaire, I can't do it anymore. Let's get into it. So number one, economic fundamentals and just the economy. The US is one of the strongest economies in the entire world, especially in states like Florida and Texas, which tend to be more red states, which tend to be doing better economically, especially in the past couple years. Now, the reason why economic fundamentals are so important, because if you're investing in an area that has good GDP growth, which is the foundation of everything, it's the foundation of an economy even doing well, but especially for a real estate area for us to invest in, we wanna make sure it has good GDP growth, because if it does, it always leads to more job growth. And if you have an area with good job growth, it always leads to population growth, because obviously people want to move to an area that has good jobs. And if we have population growth, this obviously increases the demand on rental housing, because a lot of people that transfer for jobs are going to rent in a new area before buying, most likely for like a year or two before they even like the job or like the area, then they will buy. And if you have a good increase in rental demand, it always leads down the road to an increase in real estate prices. So you can see this kind of arc that we have with GDP growth, job growth, population growth, increase in rental demand, and increase in real estate prices. So if you're investing in an area with that foundational awesome GDP growth, it's gonna lead to you basically making more money in real estate and kind of guaranteeing your success. So this is why for us, we've landed on Florida and Texas. So for our personal strategies, we're investing in Florida with short-term Airbnb rentals. We feel it's a great vacation area, but it's not only a vacation industry, which I found out more and more the more I'm investing here. There's also a lot of people that come down from like the lower states, Georgia, Alabama, Texas, even that far away. They'll drive down to South Florida for their vacation in the summers. So in the winter, you have all of us coming down from Canada to vacation in Florida, but also all the northern US states, New York, Michigan, Pennsylvania, all those guys will come down for the winter, obviously. And in the summer, which I didn't know, a lot of people from Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, etc., will come down to Florida for their summer vacation. So if your property kicks some serious ass, you're gonna make a lot of money all year long. It's not only a winter month area, which we want to try and avoid those kind of like one-hit ponies, right? It's the main reason why we don't invest, for example, in like Aspen, Colorado. I don't know too much about it, but I just imagine with my own thoughts that area, for example, is only really good during the winter months, right? In the summer months, nobody's really skiing or snowboarding there, so not an area I'd want to invest in. Although it might very well be an awesome area, I don't know, I'm just saying. But for Florida, we've landed on it's a great area all year long. And then our long-term strategy is investing in Texas. I won't say exactly where in either states, because you gotta be a partner to know exactly where we're investing and how we can help you do that. But we're investing in Texas, right around a major city, I'll just tell you that. For the long-term strategy. So we're just buying single-family properties, nice and boring, 3-bed, 2-bath, garage, house with the white picket fence. We're just buying long-term single-family rentals, renting them to tenants, selling them 5 years later, and splitting the profits with our partner. So there's the Texas easy, boring strategy, passive, boring, and then in Florida, we have the more active with the Airbnb vacation rentals, which I absolutely love both for the portfolio, lots of diversification, but also great options for our partners to decide, which is the best investment for them. Another benefit to investing in the US economically is that there's way more tax incentives and tax loopholes, if you will, to make more money here in the States. So there's the thing called the 1031 exchange, where if you buy a property and you sell it and you buy another property within a given period, which I believe is a year, you don't pay taxes on the profits of that property. You're just simply moving those profits to another piece of real estate, and those profits add up over time. You can just keep rolling that money tax-free, and then eventually you'll pay tax one day, unless you know how to do it properly and you have a great tax accountant to kind of help you structure your family income and family assets so that essentially you'll never really pay tax, which is the opposite of Canada. You're getting taxed and slammed on every single property you sell. It doesn't matter. There is no such thing as a 1031 exchange. You're getting slapped with a tax bill every single time. So given those, you know, for me at this point in my life, in my career, like I said, you know, we're coming down to the US for sure. The other benefit economically is that America is just like literally 10 times bigger than Canada. So there's 10 times the people, 10 times the deals, 10 times the amount of people who need help financially. So we're there to help them and buy their property at a discount like we do in Canada still. So there's just way more opportunity. And what I found as well, straight up, is that there's less people per ratio, if you can do this calculation, less people per ratio who are killing it and hungry and smashing it like there are in Canada. Like, for example, there's a lot of real estate investors that I know personally that I hang out with in my circle, and there's absolute savages. But for the amount of population we have, you know, there's a decent amount of real estate investors who know what they're doing and are killing it. Down here, I don't know, it's different. It seems like the people in America are more passive, more lazy, if you will. I don't know, but there's just less people crushing, which is just leads to more opportunity. Like, what I always say in Canada, the middle class is huge, right? There's a small rich percentage and a small poor, like truly poor, homeless on the street. Like, we have a small amount of those people, whether you believe it or not. Very few people in Canada are actually poor, can't eat, can't afford to buy food. Like, there's a very small percentage of people, largely middle class. In America, it's totally different. You have a humongous, wealthy, rich class, probably the same size, you know, middle class, but a gigantic poor who are truly struggling, can't pay their mortgage, they can't eat. Like, there's a way bigger percentage of poor. So I'm not saying that's good or bad, it's just the way it is. And that's because, you know, America is way more capitalistic. Their society is kind of sink or swim, you know, throw you in the pool. If you can swim, great. If you can't swim, great, no one's coming for you. Where in Canada, someone's always gonna be there throwing a life raft. You know, like I said, it's almost like impossible to be like truly bankrupt on the street in Canada. There's so many fail systems and fail safes, which again, is great. It's not good or bad, it's just the way it is. So that's a difference. So for us, capitalistic investors, you know, whether you're left or right, whatever you believe, liberal, whatever, there's just more opportunity. It's just more capitalistic. The society is designed in such a way where if you are a killer, if you do understand how to kill it in business, you're gonna do very freaking well here, way better here than you would in Canada with even your own skills. The same skills bring down here, way more opportunity for you to crush. Number two, America has such lower property prices, so your bang for your buck kind of goes farther. For example, we're sitting in our house here in Naples. I won't use this example actually, because Naples is the richest city per capita in all of America. So I'm not gonna use this example because it won't make sense. But in most of America, most of Florida too, you can buy the home we have here, pool, double detached garage, 4-bed, 2-bath, like wicked house, dude, wicked house. This house in Cape Coral, you know, which is one of the areas we're focusing on in Florida, damn, I gave one of the cities away that I wasn't supposed to. But that's one of the areas we're investing in. This house would be 350, 400 grand USD max 400 grand, like totally fixed up too, totally renovated. This same house, with all that you see, the freaking palm trees, like if you had palm trees in Canada, but the niceness, you know, right around the corner from fucking ocean, would be like $1 million in Canada. More, it'd be like $1.5 million for the same house. The same house we're buying down here is 350. You know, the same houses we're buying in Texas, this would be literally the exact same house, but in Texas, we're buying between 180 to 200,000 USD. Again, the same house in Canada, 1.1 million, 1.5 million, easy. So it's just insane, the price difference and how much farther your money goes. That's because, again, the economy is huge. There's so many more people, so many more houses, so many more deals going on, so many more people in financial distress, so many people not in financial distress, so you have a more supply and demand. There's just more to choose from, more deals, which controls prices, which is one of the big problems in Canada, is that our population is so small, believe it or not, even if you live in GTA and you're like, there's people everywhere. Trust me, the population is like a joke comparison to the US. So we don't have enough housing in Canada, not even close. Like we need millions and millions and millions of houses to come online in order to help boost supply and bring it down to a neutral market. Even in all this craziness with higher interest rates, it's still a seller's market, believe it or not. And I'll tell you this as a real estate investor and realtor specializing with investors, it is still a strong seller's market in Southern Ontario, believe it or not. And that's because, like I said, there's no housing. Here, there's tons of housing. The inventory is almost in line. It's still a seller's market in the US in key cities that are kicking ass in great areas. So, but it's still almost a neutral market. So it's just crazy. There's just way more deals. The prices, I can't buy Canada anymore. I just freaking can't. I can't buy a piece of shit house in Guelph, Ontario, the middle of fucking nowhere, for 700 grand for a piece of shit when I can buy a house that's amazing for 200 grand. Even with 30% down to buy the properties here, which is required for us Canadians to buy down here, 30% down, it's still way less money in the deal. The properties we're buying in Texas, down payment, closing costs, renovation budget, all in is about 200K USD to buy, and that's 30% down. In Canada, like in my area of Kitchener-Waterloo, you need at least like 400 grand Canadian, 500 grand Canadian, seriously, to buy 20% down, close, renovate, holding costs for the renovation months, like 400, 500 grand minimum to buy a good quality area, which is why a lot of investors now are going up north to buy fucking Sudbury, North Bay, Thunder Bay. What the hell's out there? Nothing's out there. No GDP growth, no job growth, no bullshit. I'm not buying out there. I'd rather come to, because they're trying to get that 300 grand house, the 200 grand house. I get it. Dude, come to Texas and buy that 200 grand house where the fundamentals are there, the job, like it's a quality area. It's a big city in Texas. Would you rather invest there or would you rather invest in fucking Sault Ste. Marie? Easy decision for me. Number 3 benefit to investing in the US over Canada is financing is so much easier, which is insane even for our Canadians. Like I said, it's 30% down. Show me where the money came from. Will the property cash flow over and above the expenses? If the answer is yes, those 3 questions, you get the mortgage. No credit checks, no income checks, no statements, no credit card statements. Show me credit card statements from 5 years ago. Show me your T4s from 8 years. No. There's none of that in the US, which is crazy. It's easier for a Canadian to buy properties in America than it is for a Canadian to buy properties in Canada. Makes no sense. But why? America's open for business. Canada is not open for business. Canada is liberal, tight, which has its benefits. You know, that's why we didn't see a 2008 in Canada. It just didn't happen. That's why we're not gonna see a 2008 part 2 with what's going on right now. Everybody thinks the world's gonna fucking fall apart. Canada, Southern Ontario, I can speak to Southern Ontario, is gonna be just fine. It's gonna be another Passover of a recession. In America, we don't know. Could go either way. But if you're investing in the right areas and you know what you're doing, you'll be just fine as well. So that's why, I don't know, like with the financing thing, it just blows my mind. It's so much easier to buy a deal here. Number 4, last but not least, probably one of the most important reasons why I'm no longer buying in Canada and buying here in these more red states is control over your property. It is my property, the way it should be. I'm on title, this is my property. If I have a bad tenant, dude, it is so easy to evict them and get them out. This 6-month, 8-month, 12-month, 18-month thing you're seeing in Ontario, where tenants stay and don't pay rent and trash the property and just live for free month after month. And the landlord-tenant board is just like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna let them. No. That doesn't happen in Florida, and it certainly doesn't happen in Texas, which is why we're doing our long-term rent properties in Texas specifically. Out 30 days, 45 days max, from what I hear from my property managers. Max, like 45 days is like, yo, you did it wrong. You know, you have a bad property manager. It took too long. 45 days out. You wanna raise your rent in Florida or Texas? Raise it with the proper notice. I believe it's 30, 60 days. So if you have a tenant that's paying under market value, let's say you buy a property and the tenant's in there paying whatever, 800 bucks, but the rent should be 1,500 bucks. Raise the rent, 1,500 bucks, like this. There's no minimum or maximum requirement per year. Raise it up to market value. Raise it, if you have a really bad tenant, raise it up to $3,000. Well, Matt, I can't pay $3,000. I'm paying $800. How can I go to $3,000? I don't make enough money. Looks like you gotta go. My property. I set the rules. You don't like it? Leave. Which is why I like America. In Canada, you just don't know. You can have a great tenant, go through the application process, they look great, they start off great, and then they turn crazy. Something happens in their life, they get divorced, you know, they can't pay rent anymore, and they stay for months and months and months, potentially years. Doesn't happen here. So that's very, very important for me. Like I said, I've made a ton of money in Canada. You can totally make a ton of money. Obviously, I'm a product of that. I became a multi-millionaire from investing in Canada. Luckily, you know, with all my properties, I had over 50 rental properties. I never had a bad tenant. We renovated really well. We screened as best as we could. We always got good tenants. So I'm a case of like, hey, just double down, keep going. You had a great experience, over 50 properties. But knowing what I know now and how to scale and how to grow a business, I just can't do it. Because you never know, maybe the 56th property, the 60th property, that's when I get smacked. That's when I get a tenant that just fucks around, knows the system, messes around, can't do it. Here, out. So that's why I just can't invest in Canada anymore, can't do it. Anyway guys, if you're looking to expand into the US but you're scared, you know the benefits of investing in real estate, you know the benefits now of investing in the US, you get it, but you just don't know how to do it, partner with us. We're always looking for partners in Florida for Airbnbs or Texas for long-term rentals. Easy peasy boring, I'll help you through everything, all the tax stuff, all that. It's not as hard as it seems, trust me. People overblow it. Oh my God, how can I structure the taxes, double tax? Don't worry about that, I'll help you through all of it. We'll get you invested here, and you can invest here with less money. For example, you can invest with us for $100K minimum investment. You can't buy nothing in Canada for $100K down, nothing. You won't be an owner on title, you'll just be a promissory note holder, private lending, you can do that. But if you wanna be an owner on title and own something, you can't buy nothing in Canada for 100 grand down. Unless, like I said, you're buying Sault Ste. Marie or fucking middle of nowhere, Alberta. Who wants to do that? That was a joke on Alberta. Anyway guys, I'll see you in the next video.